And there you have it. We have the appearance of the Gilf. Yes, the hot granny has made her appearance in Dandadan. She looking really good for her age. She looking really good for her age. I don't know. Maybe it's the spirit powers. Maybe the spirit powers itself kind of keeps her looking young. But yes, episode 3, good episode. Really cool to see that one of my theories might be correct. I made a theory in the last episode that when he was sort of partially transformed, he turned into this like depressed state. And I had this theory that the possibility that Turbo Granny might be made of more than one spirit. And it's sort of coming true in this episode. They're talking about this location-bound spirit that has merged with Turbo Granny, this yokai. And so maybe that's sort of that personality coming out there. Again, there is the other theory that because she was partially controlling just his mind, that maybe she just tapped into just the area that this like super depressed state of him. So he kind of became this kind of chuny, depressed dude. But I don't know. It could be possibly that personality was that location-bound spirit. But yeah, that's what we kind of got into with this episode, kind of building up into really going right into the major fight. Typically with series like this, you're going to have that initial hook, like the reason why these two come together. And for this series so far, it has been Turbo Granny. Turbo Granny has this thing of Okuron. There is this sense of guilt that Ayase has. She wants to help Okuron. Yes, obviously they're getting closer and closer, and this episode seems to have a lot of teasing at a possible relationship here, thanks to the granny. The granny's just constantly pushing. She really badly wants to confess to you. She wants to confess her love. You obviously like him. All that stuff is kind of building up there. But yeah, the overall story would have probably been the fact of him trying to get back his wiener. Like that be the thing that keeps them together for a long series. But I don't know. There's a few series out there that will kind of break that mold and actually have that get wrapped up very quickly. Just keep adding new things, which I think is actually a good thing. I do like when writers do that. They don't rely on that carrot on a stick that's all the way at the end of 50 volumes. No, let's get it wrapped up now, and let's actually do different things. Let's jump on to the next thing. Now, I still believe what's probably going to happen here is they're going to probably go after Turbo Granny. They're going to get rid of the location-bound spirit. And I think that's probably what Turbo Granny wants. I think the reason why Turbo Granny has done this to Okuron is that she wants them to come there. I mean, that's what she said. If you want his wiener, come here. Why does she want her to go there? I don't think it's because she wants to beat them. I think Turbo Granny wants them to come there to get rid of the location-bound spirit. She has merged with it, and she wants somebody to come there and exercise it so that she can be free. She can be separate from this spirit. And I think that's what's going to happen in the next episode. They're probably going to go there, fight it, and then at some point, the location-based spirit, or the two of them, are going to be one thing, and they're going to beat that thing, and then Turbo Granny's like, I'm still not going to give it to you, but thanks. Now I'm no longer bound here. I can go wherever I want, and that'll probably turn into a bigger thing. But we can't have Okuron have his poor Okuron. We can't let him have his wiener. But no, opening up the episode, having Ayase in trouble, Okuron attacking her, and then, yes, having Granny show up. I knew the moment they showed that whole clip of her, like, basically outing this idol, I knew it was going to come to light. Like, at some point in the episode, there's going to be a news broadcast. Sure enough. Sure. I like the fact that she's so petty on the curry and ramen thing. You got to change that. That's the thing that she's worried about. Like, the news is all about, like, oh, he's like 27 and he's got a wife and kids. Oh my gosh. And she's like, you got to change that part. That's not his favorite food. She's so petty. But no, she shows up, beats the crap out of Turbo Granny, at least later on acknowledging the idea that the only reason that she beat Turbo Granny right here was because she's not in that spirit-bound location. I guess that technically does give credit to the idea that, yes, Turbo Granny herself is not strong, possibly, but more that the spirit of the spirit-bound location, that's what's strong. Because she says later on, I went there because I heard all these rumors and whatnot, and she couldn't even go inside. She couldn't even go inside. She knew that was death. Like, if I go in there, this location-bound spirit is going to get me. Now, again, acknowledging that she was probably, again, drawing power from another location. So it's like two different aspects here. So it doesn't really give you a clear answer as to, can Grandma beat Turbo Granny? That's the question mark. Because, again, she was outside of the area that she gets her power from. And, yes, opposite this episode, Turbo Granny with this location-bound spirit was not in their location. So it leaves it up to who's really that powerful. But yeah, Grandma was pretty badass right here, just absolutely destroying Turbo Granny, warding nails and whatnot. I think I've seen them in several other locations. I mean, Jujutsu Kaisen, I think those are warding nails. I mean, they use them on effigies and stuff like that, so it's a common thing. But yeah, the next morning, Ayase wakes up. walks down the stairs, asks Grandma where Okuron is. Did you kill him? What'd you do? And this is where we have that kind of dressed up past. The grandma's saying, I don't know what you're talking about. There's no spirits. There's no evil spirits. I'm just a fake. Okay, Grandma, I'm sorry. Tell me where he's at. It doesn't matter. Is he okay? Just tell me. Oh, don't believe in that stuff. I'm just fake. Don't worry. Having to push Ayase like, you're still dredging this up. You're still dredging this up, which makes sense. Again, way back here, she was getting bullied and she snapped at her grandmother. And so it seems like the grandmother's kind of accepted that, but always still taking care of her. But at the same time, just kind of bringing that out. Now, there is a side of me that almost wonders if there is a fear for danger for her and accepting the idea that she doesn't want to believe in it. But I really do think that that's kind of a dredging up of something that hurts. The grandma really was hurt by that. Like, she really badly wanted to protect her granddaughter, but her granddaughter threw that back in her face. It is a sad reality. But then, yeah, having Ayase just kind of kowtow and say, I'm sorry. All right, I'm sorry. Can we move on kind of thing? It hurt. But no, he's still alive. She gets all mad because she was so worked up about it. She shuts the door on him. I like how they call back to that. Again, like I was saying in the last episode, I think they're doing a really good job of this series with the personalities and the characters and the interactions. And adding Grandma to this whole situation just adds another flavor to it. She's just absolutely pushing Ayase to have to kind of express herself. So that's really fantastic. But no, it was cute here because, yes, it obviously shows that she was really flustered over the situation. I think really, for the most part, Ayase right here, like it has in her mind, she feels guilty about this. And again, it was sort of to the whole credit to at the end of the first episode. It really feels like the two of them feel at fault for their situation. They both played their part in pushing them to either location. Yes, technically, Ayase got something positive out of the whole situation, even though that was sort of would be a traumatic experience for a lot of people. It doesn't seem like the experience itself traumatized her, so she took it. But at the same time, she got powers. Whereas Okuron, he got powers, but he lost his wiener and he can't control the powers. So either way, though, I do like the fact that they still sort of keep hitting on the idea they blame themselves for the situation. I think that's what kind of helps this sort of chemistry with the two of them going forward, is that they both acknowledge a guilt with the situation and they both want to help each other. So they're making that camaraderie through that. And yes, Ayase feels really bad and she feels like he might have died. And so there is a guilt factor here. But again, having Grandma there to constantly kind of keep pushing it. Oh, you're worried because you like him, obviously. No, I don't. No, okay, yeah, so you like him. So you want to confess to him. No, I didn't want to do that over and over again. Ken would want me to help. Oh, so you do like him. I think it's great. But no, I love the segment when the grandma leaves. Just this little moment between the two of them. Again, sort of what we were kind of seeing with episode 2. Having how Okuron did really nothing. Like in that whole fight with that sumo alien, Okuron was unable to do anything. He's like, here, release my power, but keep my mind intact. And even in that situation, he didn't do anything. Like, Ayase carried it. Ayase carried that fight. She's literally the entire time keeping him held in check, and she's fighting this monster, and she's moving him around, doing all this stuff, taking all these blows, pulling up the barrier. Like, she soloed that boss. He was unable to do anything. And I like that. Again, like I said before, I like that both of them have power. Ayase's just a badass, so it's just he's not winning against her. So right here, he's even acknowledging it. I was not able to do anything. I'm sorry. I was literally useless. I was only thinking of myself, where you were protecting me and fighting at the same time. And he doesn't want that anymore. He wants to be able to protect her. Even though she's like, you're still a dork, I'm gonna still protect you. But no, this entire scene was cute because it really is Okuron being very honest with her. And the idea that I was afraid of losing a friend. I was afraid to disappoint you and that I would lose you. Please don't stop being my friend. I don't think they've established yet that they've both said we're friends, which I was kind of expecting Ayase to jump on that and say, hey, wait, when did I say I was going to be your friend? It seems like she's comfortable with him saying that. But it's super sweet because, again, he's right here finally saying, please don't stop being my friend just because I failed you. I'm going to work harder so I can help you next time. Please don't stop being my friend. Don't let my disappointment push you away. I'm never disappointed in you, but you shut the door. I like the callbacks. This writer's really good at the callbacks, just constantly calling back to things. You shut the door on me. I thought you were disappointed back here. Again, their chemistry is just really, really solid in this series. Like I said before, everything else can fail with this series, and I'll still love it just for that chemistry. They have to race Turbo Granny. They're talking about Okuron doing it, but he has no stamina, so they're going to have Ayase be like a backpack on him. Like he's going to have to piggyback her. So I'm guessing they're talking about the idea of maybe her using her spirit powers to boost his ability to run. Okay. Additionally, Grandma doesn't believe in UFOs. That's kind of interesting little addition there. Again, because we mentioned before, there's a possibility that both UFOs and spirits have a similarity between the two of them. So you would think that she might already know about aliens this far into it, that she might go to a location thinking that there's going to be a spirit there, but then it ends up being a UFO or an alien of some sort. So that's kind of an interesting little addition there. I like that. I like how Ayase is like, yeah, I get that reaction. I was that yesterday. But yeah, this all gets into what their goal should be, which is to beat Turbo Granny. Which is interesting because they start off this whole situation with a training. Oh, we got to get you stronger. You got to be able to outrun her. And you got to get her out of that zone. That way you can beat her. And they don't even get like a brief moment to train because, again, Granny shows up, starts threatening them, and they have to go to it. So it's like they don't even get they don't... This writer's like, oh, don't worry, I'm not doing a training arc. We're not going to do a training arc. We're going to go straight there. But no, we got to learn a little bit about Ayase's power, which this is totally flagging that at some point we're probably going to have, maybe this fight coming up, we're probably going to have a moment where Ayase gets her vision obscured in some way. Because it's sort of putting it this idea that it's tactile, like you're touching the spirit, you're grabbing it, the aura. And so obviously you could close your eyes. You don't have to see him. And she tries it and she fails, but she only got to try it once. I think what's going to happen is eventually she's going to probably get blinded or something, not be able to see him. They're going to go into a dark tunnel in a minute. So it does make sense. Technically, they're going to probably have a flashlight. The flashlight's going to go out, and she's going to have to be able to see him without seeing him. And she's probably going to feel it. She said that she felt the aura. Like, I think she said it was warm or something like that. She felt it. So I think she can figure out how to do it, and she's probably going to have to get forced to have to figure it out. But I think the interesting bit in that whole segment is it really the fact that you have Grandma right there, and she's never heard of this. Like, it's an original power. Like, Ayase is like, this is what I was able to do. Oh, how are you able to do that? I like when she actually questioned that. She's like, so, how are you holding back his curse? Like, Grandma doesn't know about this. Which I guess makes sense because it does seem like she's just a barrier user. Like, most of her stuff is more barrier magics. Which, yes, turns into the whole goofy bit where Okuron has to use the restroom. And yes, I had to question immediately, how is he going to go pee? I know how he's going to probably go pee. I mean, you can still go pee even if it gets lopped off. There's still a hole there. But it's just kind of make me kind of wonder, like, okay, at least he sat down when he went. But no, that whole bit where they're rushing it there was so goofy. He goes rushing for the door and she literally blocks his path and says, you can't go poop in another person's house. Like, the embarrassment of having him actually poop in her bathroom just upsets her. And they're all trying to stop him, and they're chasing each other down. Grandma just randomly is like, hey, I want to join in. Ayase's like jumping on top of Okuron and chomping down on his head. They jump into like the hallway, and you have the grandma like goes, you're doing a really good job, Ken Takakura. And then suddenly Ayase over here is like, squee. She falls over. It was super dorky, super freaking dorky. And then, yes, the embarrassment of having to have us there and watch him. Super bad. Yeah, we had a brief moment while they're waiting there that Grandma mentioned the idea that she believes that her power might be sealed away. The reason why she was able to be so powerful when she first awakened to it is possibly that her power has always been sealed away, which does technically open the door to maybe possibly her mother didn't like that she had spirit powers and that she locked it away. I mean, there's a lot of trauma that seems to be in Ayase's story. I mean, yes, Okuron has his issues with, friendships and whatnot. But it does seem like Ayase has a lot of issues within her family itself, and obviously people making fun of her family. She has a lot of love for her family. So I kind of wonder if possibly Ayase, maybe her immediate parents had sealed it away. Like, they thought that it would be a threat, or they didn't want her to get involved in the same stuff that her grandma did. Who knows? Or possibly just when she was very young, she got cursed by something. Some other spirit was afraid of her power and sealed it away while she was still an infant or something. But yeah, that's when Turbo Granny / the location-bound spirit shows up and nearly kills Grandma. Basically puts her into a state where she could have a stroke or a heart attack, bleeding out the nose and everything like that. And then threatens to pretty much kill everybody here unless they come to the tunnel. And so again, like I said, completely says, no, we're not doing a training arc. For once, having one of these shows where like, we're not doing a training arc. You're not going to get a chance to learn your stuff. Get over here. So yeah, they're heading off to that. And Grandma gives her a nice little hug, sends them off. And then Ayase on the train's like, I'm going to take them out because they hurt my grandma. Like, go girl. I love that love. I love the love between the two of them. It's like the whole beginning segment having her apologize. It's just like it's the mistakes and the pride that they have for their family that's just kind of muddied up by the past experiences and bullying and whatnot. So it all makes sense. But yeah, super good. Super good little segment there. Really like the chemistry that the grandma adds to the whole situation. I think the thing that the grandma adds so much more to this is really kind of pushing that romance aspect. Just kind of keep teasing them, keep pushing them in that direction, rather than it just always be Ayase and Okura kind of just beating at each other. It's super cute. But I'm looking forward to it. Really fun stuff. Really great episode. Hope you guys enjoyed my impressions of this episode. If you did, hit that like button down below. Comment. Let me know what's thought of the episode. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe before you leave. If you like this content, you want to support the channel more, I have links in the description below. Greatly appreciate it. Until next time, y'all take care.